the illegal part of this whole thing would be the sexual.
When law enforcers become lawbreakers, the tales are as shocking as they are intriguing. Curious about how these officers landed themselves in hot water? Let's find out. Number 7. Marie Waller, the fallen officer. Arizona Juvenile Corrections Officer Marie Waller faced severe consequences when her relationship with a paroled inmate came to light. Waller, new on the job, faced charges of unlawful sexual conduct after another officer discovered explicit Snapchat content shared between her and the parolee. This was reported and led to a public investigation. The inmate, under community supervision in a group home, was still technically in the department's custody. Deputies found revealing photos of Waller on his phone, and likewise the parolee's explicit images on Waller's phone. Both parties admitted to consensual sexual contact, but legal complications arose given the parolee's age. The former inmate, aged 18, had met Waller at Adobe Mountain School within the Department of Juvenile Corrections. While there was no evidence of sexual contact during his time in the facility, their relationship, due to the power dynamics and his age, was considered unlawful. During the investigation, Waller shockingly tried to cover her tracks. She used an Apple Watch to send a message to the young man, instructing him to deny all allegations and delete evidence. This reckless move only further incriminated her. Waller, now jobless and potentially facing sex offender registration, awaits her sentencing in jail. She regretted her actions, admitting to the detectives that she had messed up. Her future now lies in the hands of the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. Number 6. Gemma's downfall, from guard to inmate. Gemma Copperthwaite, a St. Clair County Jail corrections officer, found herself in hot water after getting involved with a female inmate. The inmates took an interest in Gemma, leading to a controversial meeting at Gemma's home during the inmate's work release. Gemma allowed the inmate to shower at her home, which sparked a relationship viewed as an abuse of power by legal authorities. Despite Gemma's insistence that there was no sexual aspect to their relationship, the law doesn't take kindly to allowing such power dynamics, casting her actions in a negative light. She stated that she did not believe that she could convince a jury of her innocence and feared the prospect of years of solitary confinement. Despite everything, Gemma remained convinced that she didn't wrong her victim, stating the inmate initiated their interactions. After authorities were informed of the offense, Gemma turned herself in upon issuance of an arrest warrant. Guilty of intent to commit sexual penetration, the court sentenced her to 10 months in jail, 4 months suspended upon fine payments, and registration as a sex offender. Number 5. Denise Pearl's downfall. Denise Pearl, an officer at the notorious Clinton Correctional Facility in upstate New York, was in a scandalous relationship with an inmate. They secretly communicated using aliases and exchanged letters, phone calls, and money. The affair escalated to intimate touches and kisses within the prison and continued after the inmate's transfer to another facility. When another officer stumbled upon Denise's misconduct, she was slapped with a myriad of charges: second-degree promotion of prison contraband, third-degree sexual abuse, and an overwhelming 23 counts of official misconduct. A joint investigation by the state police, the State Departments of Corrections and Community Supervision, and the Clinton County District Attorney's Office led to evidence of their illicit relationship. Initially pleading not guilty to all 25 charges, Denise's lawyer aimed to reduce the charges. She was granted bail and later offered a plea deal, which involved admitting to promoting prison contraband for a reduced sentence. The case attracted high-profile attention due to past scandals at the facility, even drawing comments from then-Governor Andrew Cuomo. Denise finally accepted a plea deal and was imprisoned for 1 year. The judge noted the difficulty in understanding her actions, especially in light of the community's history with the facility. Her love affair with the inmate cost her career and reputation. Number 4. Kawana Jenkins' troubling deeds. At the Fulton County Jail, guard Kawana Jenkins fell from grace. She was apprehended for illicit relations with an inmate, marking a shift from an officer to a potential inmate herself. Her misconduct caught up with her during a prison raid. Authorities seized 11 phones and various weapons, unraveling Jenkins' secret actions. Upon the viral spread of incriminating videos involving Officer Kawana Jenkins, the Fulton County Sheriff's Office distanced itself. Asserting that Jenkins fell short of department standards, Sheriff Pat Labatt promptly fired her and initiated her arrest. In a press release on March the 22nd, numerous charges against Jenkins were revealed, underscoring the department's commitment to transparency and accountability. Number 3. Gonzalez's disgraceful downfall. In late 2019, Fresno County Correctionals Officer Tina Gonzalez got into hot water for her appropriate relationships with several inmates. The situation came to light when colleagues discovered an inmate with a cell phone, tracing it back to Tina's scandalous affair. This alarming discovery led to a thorough investigation. Gonzalez faced several serious charges, including illicit relations with inmates, illegal possession of drugs and alcohol in the jail, and plans to sneak a phone to an inmate. Post-discovery, she quit, but the damage was irreversible. Assistant Sheriff Steve McComas expressed his disgust, citing the event as the worst in his long career. During the trial, Gonzalez remained silent and indifferent. Her defense stressed her crumbling marriage and emotional vulnerability. However, the judge labeled her actions reckless, endangering her peers and ruining her career. Yet, he acknowledged her potential for redemption. Considering her lack of previous offenses and early confession, he sentenced her to a 7-month prison term. Number 2. Joyce Mitchell's devious assistants. Joyce Mitchell's story is a notorious one. A worker in an upstate New York prison, she facilitated a daring escape reminiscent of Shawshank Redemption for 2 inmates, David Sweat and Richard Matt. The high-drama case inspired the Golden Globe-winning Escape at Dannemora miniseries. Joyce provided tools including chisels and hacksaw blades concealed in frozen hamburger meat, aiding the inmates to cut through their cells and a steam pipe, eventually emerging through a utility hole. The crafty escape even involved a decoy in bed with a cheeky note saying, "Have a nice day." When the escapees were to rendezvous with Joyce for a getaway, she panicked and checked into hospital, leaving the men stranded. This sparked a statewide chase, leading to the killing of Matt and Sweat's capture at the Canadian border after 3 tense weeks. The judge sentenced her to a minimum of 2 1/3 years, extending to 7 years, and a fine of $5,000. Number 1. Nancy Gonzalez's forbidden love. Nancy Gonzalez, a correctional officer, became involved in a scandalous affair with an inmate, Ronald Wilson, known for his cold-blooded killing of 2 undercover cops. Their romance blossomed in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, where they spent long hours conversing and disappearing behind closed doors. The illicit relationship caused a spotlight when Nancy fell pregnant with Wilson's child. Detention Center's warden Frank Strata pushed for Nancy's maximum sentencing, claiming her betrayal left colleagues feeling less secure and angered. Wilson's unstable nature and the possibility of him manipulating Nancy to incite violence further complicate the matter. Despite Nancy's defense team presenting her as a victim of a difficult upbringing, her confession of intentionally conceiving Wilson's child to provide him with some hope undermined their efforts. Wilson planned to use the child to evade his death sentence. However, Nancy later refused. Finally, Nancy was sentenced to 1 year and a day in federal prison and lost custody of her child due to her substance abuse problems. Quite shocking, isn't it? To witness those sworn to uphold the law shatter it in such unthinkable ways. Which story surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below.